He was a champion, a hero, a Von Erich wrestling royalty. Millions cheered his name as he stood tall in packed arenas, the American dream made real. But behind the muscles, the fame, and the bright lights, Kerry Von Erich was slowly falling apart. On February 18, 1993, Kerry was found dead from a gunshot wound in what authorities ruled a suicide. Yet for fans, family, and wrestling historians, the story has never felt that simple. Was Kerry Von Erich pushed beyond the edge by pain, addiction, and a cursed legacy? Or is there more to the final chapter of wrestling's most tragic family? Tonight, we uncover the heartbreaking and unnatural death of Kerry Von Erich. Kerry Von Erich was born into one of the most famous and most tragic families in professional wrestling history. As the son of Fritz Von Erich, Kerry grew up inside the wrestling business, where expectations were crushing and failure was never an option. Alongside his brothers, Kerry became part of a cultural phenomenon in Texas, drawing massive crowds and inspiring a generation of fans. Handsome, athletic, and naturally charismatic, Kerry quickly became the face of world-class championship wrestling. To the world, the Von Erichs were untouchable. But inside the family, tragedy was already taking root. Kerry Von Erich achieved legendary status in 1984 when he defeated Ric Flair to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, a moment that cemented his place in wrestling history. But behind that victory was unimaginable pressure. Kerry wrestled through serious injuries, refusing time off out of loyalty to fans and family expectations. Pain became part of his daily life. As injuries worsened, prescription painkillers entered the picture, slowly tightening their grip. What fans saw as strength was, in reality, a man pushing his body far beyond its limits. In 1986, Kerry's life changed forever. A devastating motorcycle accident shattered his leg, leading to an amputation below the knee, a fact that was hidden from fans for years. Against medical advice and logic, Kerry returned to the ring with a prosthetic limb, continuing to wrestle at the highest level. But the pain was constant, both physical and emotional. The accident deepened his dependence on painkillers and marked the beginning of a downward spiral that no championship could stop. As the years passed, Kerry's addiction worsened. He faced multiple arrests related to drug possession, and his legal troubles put his freedom and WWE career at risk. At the same time, the Von Erich family was being torn apart by death after death. Brothers were lost to overdoses, illness, and suicide. Each funeral added more weight to Kerry's already fragile mental state. Friends later described him as haunted, exhausted, and deeply depressed. But like many wrestlers of that era, asking for help was seen as weakness. By early 1993, Kerry Von Erich was facing prison time, financial stress, and ongoing health problems. His wrestling days were behind him, and the identity that had defined his entire life was slipping away. On February 18, 1993, Kerry was found dead at his father's ranch from a single gunshot wound. Authorities ruled it a suicide. He left behind family, fans, and a wrestling world stunned by yet another Von Erich tragedy. But questions immediately surfaced. Some family members claimed Kerry was making future plans. Others believed the pressure had finally become unbearable. Kerry Von Erich's death may have been officially ruled a suicide, but many believe it was the tragic result of years of physical abuse to his body, untreated mental health struggles, addiction, and the crushing legacy of the Von Erich curse. When a man is pushed to wrestle through amputation, painkiller addiction, and repeated family loss, can his death truly be called natural? Or was it the inevitable end of a system that glorified sacrifice while ignoring suffering? Today, Kerry Von Erich is remembered as both a wrestling icon and a cautionary tale. His courage inspired millions, but his pain exposed the dark side of professional wrestling, where toughness was praised and vulnerability was ignored. The Von Erich story changed the industry forever, forcing conversations about mental health, addiction, and the true cost of entertainment. Kerry Von Erich didn't just lose his life, he lost a battle that no one should have had to fight alone. His death was not just a moment, but the final chapter of years of silent suffering. And as fans continue to honor his legacy, one truth remains clear. The brightest stars often burn in the darkest shadows.